Hello and welcome to No Apologies on Beck, where we are unafraid to speak the truth. I'm your host, Rick Becker, our co-host, Lori Hintz.
Hi there.
And
New week, let's go.
New week, ready to roll?
I'm ready to roll.
Wow.
I am. It's hard to
No
believe.
messing around.
No, I'm just not.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm excited. We have a very interesting guest here. We're going to be talking with Dustin Amundsen for the segments 2 and 3. Very interesting stuff. But we're going to start off talking about unemployment benefits. And pull up the graphic here. It's interesting. You know, we've talked about the unemployment benefits, the bonus benefits, if you will, $300 per week added on for each of the weeks that you would normally get unemployment, and that how that has been incentivizing people to stay home. Pull it up, please. Incentivizing people to stay home in the midst of employers, businesses struggling to find workers. And it's been borne out, as you would expect if you know anything about economics.
Or human nature.
Yes, exactly, that's what would happen. And so what happened is that various states came up and said, we are not going to keep doing this. Go ahead to the next graphic. So the federal government said, we're going to keep doing this $300 per week add-on all the way through the first week of September. Now, some of the states jumped up and said, this is killing us. We are spending taxpayer dollars to incentivize people to stay home when we can't get, I mean, if you, even throughout North Dakota,
Everywhere.
we've got businesses everywhere with limited hours.
Yep.
So here we have the graphic. It's showing what states have decided they're going to end it sooner than, I believe it's September 6th, something on of that order.
So North Dakota's amongst the June 19th, so we just ended it.
Just ended it this weekend. And so hopefully that will mean that we are going to see less job openings and less businesses that are closing early. We even beat out South Dakota, that's waiting for another week, and then Montana, I guess, the very next day. But several of the states, primarily the blue states, are not looking to
even end it?
To end it at all.
Wow.
No, because they're all about it.
Yeah.
They are all about it.
But at the same time, they will feel that crunch. I mean, people will be moving to these states that we just showed on television.
Well, right, exactly. It's interesting because the White House is struggling with this because the state, of course, they don't like the states
Sure.
doing their own thing.
Oh, heaven
they believe
forbid.
very much in a powerful federal government. And the Labor Department officials said that their hands are tied.
Oh.
No matter how they might try, they cannot force the states to continue taking the money to disincentivize people going back to work.
That's the beautiful thing about our republic. That's the way it was set up, so that the states can do their own thing. When they realize that the federal government is doing dumb stuff, we don't want to do that.
Yep, exactly. And you know, it's interesting with the jobs report, unemployment reports, and so forth. Each of these last 2 months have really been a black eye for the Biden administration.
They really have, and they have not been what they were projected at all, to their chagrin.
Right. Now, one of the things that's still going to help or hurt, I guess, people getting back to work is that the unemployment benefits are typically taxed.
Oh, yes.
But the federal government is giving a credit, or they're going to give a refund for the taxes paid all through 2020 on an unemployment. So people, and these should come out in the next couple of weeks, the refund checks for the unemployment. So people who might be thinking, gosh, my $300 per week is gone, I'm going to have to get up and go get a job. Oh, wait a minute.
Tax refund.
There's a great big refund coming in the mail, so we can hold off for another month. Again, the wisdom of government. So let's go to the next graphic. Despite the fact that we all recognize that incentivizing people with other taxpayers' dollars to stay at home is bad, they've flipped it and they're going 180 degrees with $180 weekly payments to find work. And I know this is just maddening, frankly, because I think I talked about this as being a moderately good thing. When we brought it up, I think it was last week, because this was coming up. But what I'm saying is, if a person is going to use taxpayer dollars to incentivize workers, incentivize them to work rather than to stay home.
Right.
But what should be said before that is you should never use taxpayer dollars to incentivize workers to do anything.
Right.
But if you're going to make that big of a mistake, make that error on the side that these guys are looking to do it. But what they're saying is, we are now going to pay you $180 a week, so that's 60% of what it would have been. to go back to work. Now, the problem is that what they are doing is incentivizing people to not work as much.
Exactly.
It's like they do not understand.
There is a disconnect there somewhere where you can't figure out that it's going to make them work fewer hours.
Right. Well, the problem is politicians have at their fingertips as much economic skill and knowledge that they could ever want, not through their own vice, but through associates, assistants, whatever it might be.
Researchers,
Yes, and they can have it, but they don't want it because it doesn't fit a political agenda. It's hard to tell people it's better for society as a whole to not keep paying you $300. It's easy, and politicians like the easy thing to just say, yeah, aren't we great? Aren't we so nice to give you other taxpayers' dollars to stay at home? And now, and Representative Peter Meijer is a Republican. He's joining now with Democrats in Congress, and to do this $180 to flip it the other way and say, now, aren't we great? Aren't we so smart? We're going to start paying people to go to work. Except now, for these folks that were incentivized to not work, he thinks that it's going to incentivize them to work. What it's going to do is incentivize them to take a part-time job rather than a full-time job.
They can still get that benefit and get that 60% of what they were getting before.
I mean, and again, this is our money. This is your money. This is your money. This is my money. And so flip up the next graphic. Here's some tweets by Representative Peter Meijer. May be hard for you to read there. I'll read it for you. He says, this is one of three, and the second and third are below. Nearly the entire country will be fully reopened with a few restrictions in some places by July 4th. And there are still 3.5 million fewer people in the workforce than February of 2020. We must tailor expansive federal unemployment benefits and stop incentivizing Americans to stay home. Now that statement
That's interesting.
is true. Yes, you should stop incentivizing them to stay home. But then don't do something that's equally stupid on the other end of the spectrum. He goes, number 2 in his tweet is, that's why I joined these other 2 Democrat representatives in introducing Support for New Workers Act to encourage return to work by providing those who have become employed after previously receiving unemployment benefits with weekly payments of $180, 60% of their previous $300 per week. And the final one says, doing something is better than nothing. This bill reduces unemployment payments while making it easier and more appealing to get back to work. If we don't take action now, our economy will remain crippled by massive labor shortages. Glad to join this bipartisan effort. Now there, folks, you have a perfect example, again, of politician think. Politician think.
We can help. We can help. If we just do something, we can help.
Doing something is better than doing nothing.
Actually, no, that's not true.
That's not true.
Sometimes doing nothing is the best thing that you can do.
Especially in Congress.
And particularly,
stop
just
doing something.
Stay out of it.
And again,
wow.
To not understand why the first option of paying people extra unemployment, to recognize that that's bad, but not understand why it's bad.
Right. Troubling.
I don't get it, and it blows me away, because how can you make it to Congress and not have that level of understanding of the economy? Or
they just don't
even worse, that you do have that understanding of the economy and you don't care because you want to do what sounds easy, what sounds best according to.
I think it is a rudimentary lack of information that they just can't process. They simply cannot process. In flyover country, we totally get it here. We totally understand the economic impact of it. Look at the restaurants. Look at the fast food places that only have drive-thrus right now. And that is because of this incentive. So hopefully now in North Dakota, we will see a change. Maybe that'll show other states and some of the blue states, but they're not. This is the other problem, is that the blue states and their leaders are not going to watch what's going on in the red states. They're going to do their own thing anyway.
Yeah, they are.
They don't learn from trial and error and success.
Yeah, they just don't learn.
No, they just don't.
I mean, again, I'm sure this guy's heart is in the right place, but good God. Somebody on your staff, please explain to him, explain to this guy why this isn't a smart idea. I don't get it, but hey, listen, that's just me. Yep. All right, next up, we are going to have a guest with us. Stick around, folks, very interesting stuff. Perhaps we'll be talking about the Constitution.
When you can't find answers to your recurring health challenges, it can feel like your health and your future are being held hostage. The Wellness Way is a network of health restoration clinics that think and act differently to solve the health challenges others can't. Here, we disrupt the standard approach to care through a combination of testing, individual plans, and one-on-one guidance, putting your health and your future where they belong, in your own hands.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Hey Bucks fans, if you're planning an outing, birthday, or employee appreciation night, then bring your group out to the Buck Stop for a night of fast-paced, high-scoring football. Your group will receive discounted tickets, options for reserved seating, scoreboard messages, VIP services, swag, and a space to gather during the game. You can also participate in pre-game ceremonies, halftime entertainment, in-game contests, and more. Call 701-595-0771 or visit bismarckbucks.com/tickets. All GA is first come, first serve. We'll see you on the turf. Go Bucks!
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's hot dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
All right, we're back. It's No Apologies on Beck. We've got a special guest with us, Dustin Amundsen. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. I understand that you've got an event coming up. Lori was telling me all about it. So,
Yeah, well, what happened was he called me because he was like, I really need some help. I need some suggestions on what I should do for donations. I said, I could do better than that. I said, let's talk about it on the show. And we can get people to not only come, we can get people to get involved with it too. So it is coming up in August, and it's the second annual. First of all, let's talk about what happened the first year with this event and what it's called, and talk about Restore the Intent too.
Okay, so basically, I'm with an organization. It's not incorporated or anything, but just an organization that its mission is to help establish a Constitution study group in every county in America. I think we have a database of like 70, and we hope to be like a middle person who, if there's somebody in Burleigh County that wants to study the Constitution, we'll make that connection to a person in Burleigh County who's actually hosting one. So that's really our mission. Right now I'm setting up venues for online classes, so people can go through, various curriculums and actually teach online right there at the website.
What's the name of the group?
Restore the Intent.
Restore the Intent. Restore the Intent. And what's the most common? Is there a specific curriculum that you use most commonly?
No. Well, I own like 5 or 6 different curriculums that I like to just rotate through.
Okay.
But like if you were to get in contact with me that you wanted to start one, I'll take the time to actually show you the different curriculums, let you go through a class or two.
Awesome.
Let you pick one, help you pick out a venue, anything I need to do. help you advertise for
So
it.
you've done this for a number of years now across the state of North Dakota, or?
Well, Restore the Intent is national.
Mhm.
So we have a really active branch up in New Hampshire and a beginning in Tennessee.
Nice.
So, but I've been teaching Constitution classes on and off for the last 5 years, probably, in North Dakota.
Excellent.
So.
How is that received? Are people now realizing how important it is to actually know the Constitution?
You know, I love teaching the Constitution because, you know, when people first come in, you know, they believe what they've been taught, you know, throughout their
Schooling years.
yeah government schooled
Right.
government education. So they believe one thing, and then once we start going through the curriculums, there comes a point where a light just comes on in their eyes, and they're like, "That doesn't sound right. I've never heard that before."
Mhm.
You know, but they always reach a point where they're hooked, and they're actually going to start researching this stuff on their own and find good sources and actually look back to find out what the Constitution's founders, what America's founders actually intended.
Right.
And that's way different than the way things are working now.
So last year, you and presumably other people helped you. It wasn't just you, but you and others decided to put together a first ever Freedom Fest at Menoken.
Yeah, Menoken Grove. So I'm all about the education, so why not gather a bunch of people out at a campsite and, you know, play games and have music and eat food and bring in speakers to actually teach them. So last year we had Jake McElroy from Institute on the Constitution, Paul Engel from the Constitution Study, Mark Herr from Center for Self-Governance, and Jeanette Finicum, Lavoie's wife. So it was a fantastic time. I got phone calls for months afterwards.
Like, how come I didn't know about this? Why did I not know about this? Right?
Yep.
Like, how can I get involved? Well, this is your chance. You're learning about this in advance this time. So,
Yep.
So you had good participation, but you could definitely have more, I'm assuming.
I'd like to quadruple it. We had maybe 150 people last year, and, you know, why not shoot for 600?
Absolutely.
You bet.
The venue can definitely fit them, and, you know, we're actually setting up 4 events across North Dakota. Freedom Fest is just one of them. But we have Paul Engel is doing his Know Your Rights tour, and he's speaking twice in Fargo on, that would be the 12th, once in Killdeer on the 13th, and then once in Bismarck on Saturday, August 14th.
So in August, these are dates in August.
Yes.
So you have some time to get ready, folks, and to get involved with this, especially if you are a Constitution lover and you want to sponsor something. We'll get to that at the end. But talk a little bit about what people can do there. You mentioned play games, and you can camp. You can camp at Menoken Grove.
Yeah, there are campgrounds. I forget the prices on them, but the money goes directly to Menoken Grove. I'm thinking it's $25 just for an actual camper. Tents are free if you want to go that route. We encourage people to bring, you know,
Chairs.
bocce ball. Well, they're seating and everything.
Oh, there
we
is.
encourage them to bring bocce ball and, you know, other long games that they can just enjoy the day. Because it is an all-day event. I mean, it's 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. So.
Just one day on Saturday, August 14th.
Correct.
Very, very cool. So this previous one, did you learn anything about what you needed for this next one at the last one?
I'm always learning. I've actually organized, I think it's 14 or 15 events in the last 5 years here in North Dakota, bringing in constitutional speakers. So I'm getting good at it, but, you know, there's always things that come up and got to be on your toes. But I'm meeting people, and, you know, each event gets bigger, so.
So do you need some volunteers to help out with that?
You know, I would love to have volunteers.
I'm just saying.
One thing I really want volunteers on is me and some other North Dakotans are working with Institute on the Constitution to create a North Dakota specific state constitution course. And, you know,
great
we're
idea.
going through, you know, line by line of the North Dakota state constitution, comparing it to the federal constitution, to the Federalist Papers, to the Declaration, and just gathering information. Then we're going to give the info to Institute on the Constitution, and they're going to actually film it and create the course, create the DVDs. So I would love to have help on that. I mean, it's a lot of work, and I tend to stay busy, but it's something that I would love to see happen.
That's a great idea. I like that a lot.
Well, I am wondering about the people who are going to come, because I would expect now that freedom-loving patriots who watch this program, this is right up their alley, I would assume.
Yeah, and the numbers have grown lately for, various reasons, but, I like it. I like seeing more people come to actually trying to learn how our system of government was intended to operate, rather than just, I'm voting for this guy because of this, or that girl because of that, and there's really no foundation for it. And I'm a Republican. I'm actually,
You just got elected to a
I
position
just got
in a
elected
district, didn't
for
you?
vice chair of District 30.
That's right.
So I am a Republican, but it saddens me that just because a person has an R by their name, I can't count on them. I can't rely on them. A lot of them simply don't understand how our system of government is intended to operate. And my big thing is, I want candidates running for public office to understand their limits of power.
Right.
If they don't understand where their powers stop, I don't care who they are. I don't want them in.
That's a great point.
That is an excellent point, because absolute power corrupts absolutely, as they say.
As they say. So I want to hit that in the next segment a little bit more about the principles and foundational aspects of it. But just again, so it's on August 14th. You mentioned that people will frequently camp. Do they come the night before?
Yeah, you could come Friday night. We have it, the venue rented for Friday and Saturday. So
okay.
Come Friday night, set up. I'll be hanging around. Other people helping organizing will be hanging around. Last year, on the Friday, we had a fish fry and, music. And
I was going to ask that too. So should people bring? Is there a food truck? Should people anticipate bringing everything they want to eat?
I'm still trying to work through that. I don't have that figured out yet.
So for right now,
last year we had a food truck. This year I'm trying to line up food trucks or something. I'd love to do burgers and brats, but
just saying, if you have a business like that, your ears are perking up. We are going to talk more about this and get some more details about that when we come back. We'll be right back.
When you can't find answers to your recurring health challenges, it can feel like your health and your future are being held hostage. The Wellness Way is a network of health restoration clinics that think and act differently to solve the health challenges others can't. Here, we disrupt the standard approach to care through a combination of testing, individual plans, and one-on-one guidance, putting your health and your future where they belong, in your own hands.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Prairie Patriot Firearms and Training is the region's most complete gun and training center. 5-lane indoor range, a gun shop, and a certified training facility. Firearms training courses are offered daily for new, intermediate, and advanced shooters. If you're not comfortable in a classroom setting, Prairie Patriot offers one-on-one private lessons, from basic self-defense training to concealed weapons testing, along with a full line of guns, ammunition, holsters, and concealment clothing. Prairie Patriot, 3930 Memorial Highway, prairiepatriot.com.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit. Plus, Nathan's Hot Dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York to go. We deliver for you.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Welcome back. It's No Apologies on Beck, your after-hours oasis of sanity. I'm your host, Rick Becker, our co-host, Lori Henson, our guest, Dustin Amundsen, who is discussing the Constitution and Freedom Fest, Midwest Freedom Fest, going to be held at Menoken Grove, August 14th, all day long. You should be there. You should attend. You should help out. A couple things, though. I want to do a little bit of a fast fire to you, right? Because I know that you are essentially a scholar on the Constitution.
I would not call myself a scholar, and I have a horrible memory, but ask me about principles.
Okay, I'm going to say that you have a magnificent understanding of the Constitution. How's that?
Sure.
Okay. Article 5, yes or no?
You know, I have fears over Article 5, and it's like I understand it's part of the Constitution, and you know, the second method in Article 5 looks tempting and everything, but I have a lot of fears over it. For one, you know, we understand the process. It's detailed in Article 5 that explains how, you know, we propose amendments, but there's nothing talking about how the amendments will be ratified. And that's actually, according to Article 5, it's a Congress, federal Congress gets to decide whether the amendments are ratified by the state legislatures or by ratifying committees within the states. And my question is, since the federal government gets to select which one, which method are they going to choose? And if they choose ratifying committees within the states, what exactly are those going to look like?
Yeah. Who picks them?
Until somebody can answer that. I know the lingo of the day is diversity, and I like diversity, but you know, it's like everybody should have a say when they open up the Constitution for change, when half of these people don't understand the difference between rights and privileges, you know?
I figure that's, you hit right on what I think is the strongest argument against an Article 5. It's that specific point. North Dakota Constitution, I think it's getting to be kind of a crap show, frankly. There will probably in 2022 be a measure on the ballot to make it a little bit harder for initiated measures, initiated constitutional measures. Do you think, are you in favor of increasing the threshold, of raising the bar for what it takes to get a constitutional measure on the ballot?
You know,
or passed?
I remember this conversation back during, what was it, Measure 3, Measure 2, or Measure 3 last cycle? And I was vehemently opposed to that and argued against it as often as I could. And I remember having conversations back then. It's like, well, would you favor this? And I'm fine with that. Really, I don't mind the threshold being raised for constitutional amendments, but really I'm salivating at the opportunity to fix the North Dakota Constitution first and then make it harder to amend.
So then that leads me to my next question. In 1972, there was an attempt to have a constitutional convention in North Dakota. Would you be in favor of a 2022 or 2024 North Dakota Constitutional Convention?
My understanding of that process is that it basically works like an initiated measure, correct?
I believe so.
So you just get the new language together and push it just like a initiated measure, and then the people vote on it.
Like a legislative measure, so that like the legislature would come, basically draft a new constitution, then it would go to a vote of the people, is my understanding.
I would like to see a lot of changes, and there's specific things that I would love to see. I would love to see. Sorry, brain went blank there.
Well, the Ethics Commission is a concern. Marcy's Law is a concern. The 11 institutions of higher education, 8 of them actually are in the Constitution. That's a concern. The fact the anti-Catholic clause in there
remember
for
that.
private schooling is in there. That should go. There is also and this is crazy Rick talking, but because we came after the Civil War, there's in the Constitution it says we can't leave the Union. I kind of think we should if we want
We should
to.
be able to.
And we should have
secede if we
equal
want.
footing.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
One thing I remember exactly what I was going to say earlier. So the federal Constitution makes a distinct line between powers that are granted to the federal government and those which remain in the states or with the people.
Yes.
Right? Come down to the state level, it's more ambiguous. I would love to see 9th and 10th Amendment language from the federal Constitution in our state Constitution and clearly tell the North Dakota government, look, if we listed it, you can do it. If it's not on the list, it remains a power of the people.
Yep.
I love that
why
idea.
not have that?
That is a brilliant plan. I like that.
I do like it. Okay, thank you for indulging me. Let's go back because I do want to touch. We had a couple more things we wanted to discuss with regard to your event.
Midwest Freedom Fest. Okay, so your event is August 14th. It's all day. You can come on Friday. It's an all-day event on a Saturday. I want to know, you mentioned something about music. Are you trying to work on musicians, or you want people to just jam and bring their own stuff?
No. Yeah. Everybody bring your own boombox and your own genre.
Perfect.
So we do have a singer, songwriter, I believe songwriter from Minot going to be up
Excellent.
playing. So yeah, looking forward to it.
So you've got music, speakers. Some of the speakers for this year you haven't talked about yet.
This year there's only going to be one. It's Paul Engel from the Constitution Study. He's doing his Know Your Rights tour, and it's primarily teaching the difference between rights and privileges. It's teaching checks, balances, and divisions of powers, especially those checks that were so important to the founders that we have no idea what they are these days. It's like it's a missing ingredient. And it's actually the oil that makes the whole machine work, like jealousy, right? If you read through the Federalist Papers, the founders were sure that they were absolutely positive that states were going to be jealous of their powers and they were going to stand up to a federal government, that's trying to encroach. They were absolutely sure that the legislative was going to be jealous of its lawmaking powers and stand up against an executive that's overreaching. They were sure that the sheriff was going to be jealous of, the people's rights. But, we need to get that jealousy back, because without it, the system just doesn't work.
Do you think that a better knowledge of the Constitution would have avoided a lot of the problems that we had with the states in 2020 with the COVID overreach?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. You know what? One of the things where we have lost that sense, as you call it, of being jealous of these things, I think has come from the federal income tax. That's something that should be repealed, because the states, by allowing their citizens to be taxed and going to the federal government, having the bureaucracies there do what they do and then send it back, but with strings attached, then that's how we all fall in line. As a legislator, I see it all the time. Well, yeah, we'd like to not do that, but we would lose funding.
Right.
And that, we've just fallen prey because we need that free money.
Before we go, I want to make sure that everybody knows the website to which to go to get more information about the Midwest Freedom Fest, so you can volunteer and they can contact you through the website, Daryl.
Can I explain something real quick?
Sure.
Go ahead.
So we're looking for donations. It costs money to throw 4 events across the state. There's a Donate to Midwest Freedom Fest button on the website, but I don't have the actual, the Eventbrite
the
page
form, okay.
to register. I don't have that linked up to the website yet,
Okay.
but you can find that by going to Eventbrite and searching for Midwest Freedom Fest 2021. And the website is restoretheintent.com.
There it is, restoretheintent.com. Dustin, thank you so much for coming in and telling us about this. I expect to see all of you at Freedom Fest.
All right, thanks, Dustin.
Thanks.
All right, when we come back, we are bringing it back. Brain food.
Brain food.
Is back.
We're the ladies of Another View, bringing you a fresh view on local issues.
And different perspectives you won't get on the mainstream media. Watch us weekday afternoons at 4:30 Central Time on Beck News and at beck.news.
you're buying windows, make sure you're comparing apples to apples. Hi, I'm Jesse with the Window Source. We only sell you the best windows and doors for the best price. Call the Window Source. Just because you pay less doesn't mean you get less.
If you don't know what's going on in education in this country, then you don't know what's going to happen in the future of this country. And it's important. I'm Dr. Duke.
And I'm Katie.
Watch the Dr. Duke Show weekdays at 4 p.m. Central Time on Beck TV.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York style pizza. We also feature gyros with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's hot dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go. We deliver for you.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Thanks to your support, you've helped make MyPillow become one of the fastest growing companies in America. Over the last 12 years, you've helped MyPillow create thousands of jobs right here in the USA.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
That's why I invented MyPillow. My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck supported and aligned. I'm interrupting this commercial right now. Retailers have canceled MyPillow, and to thank you for your support, I'm gonna pass the savings directly on to you. Go to MyPillow.com right now to get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. For example, you can get my premium MyPillows, regularly $69.98, now just $29.98, the lowest price ever.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
All right, we're back. No apologies, it's time for brain food.
It is. I'm kind of excited about this. I had kind of a request this weekend. I was talking to a gal while I was out in Medora, and she's like, Caroline, I like it when you do that. What's that called? I said, brain food. She goes, I love brain food. So, yeah. So, thank you, Carol, for the heads up on that one. This is, I'm going to start with a word. And we're just going to do one word today, I guess, for me. This is a word that I just came across, and I thought it was interesting and silly sounding. So, here it is. It is supercilious. Supercilious is an adjective that basically means coolly and patronizingly haughty or patronizingly haughty. They reacted to the breach of etiquette with a supercilious smile. So kind of in your mind, envision eyebrows. Arrogant and disdainful types tend to raise an eyebrow at anything they consider beneath them. And the original supercilious crowd must have shown that raised eyebrow look often because the adjective supercilious actually derives from supercilium, which is Latin for eyebrow, legit. Some synonyms include arrogant, assumptive, bumptious, cavalier, haughty, high and mighty, high-handed, highfalutin, huffish, huffy, imperious, important, lofty, masterful, overweening, peremptory. Pompous means supercilious. First known use of supercilious, 1543.
Interesting.
I know, right?
You know, we have in surgery, in my field, we can make supraciliary or infraciliary incisions. So
very
just
similar, supra.
above the hairline or below the hairline of the eyebrow or the eyelashes.
Oh, how interesting. Supra or what was the
Infra.
other? Or infra.
Infraciliary.
See, we're learning all sorts of
You could
medical
say
stuff now,
subciliary, too.
Very cool. Interesting.
All righty.
Supercilious.
My little bit of brain food. Flip it up. This is a sphinx moth.
Easy for you
Sphinx
to say.
moth.
That's hard
and
to say.
I'm sure you guys have seen them in North Dakota. I think they're particularly pretty.
They are.
And they're they're fun to see when they're flying around, as long as they don't hit you in the head. And I enjoy them. In contradistinction to the Miller moth.
Oh.
Yeah, I hate those.
Yeah, I don't like those
buggers.
Do you know how some years we have just massive amounts of box elder bugs, and some years
Yes.
we have just massive amounts of Miller moths?
Yes.
What year is it this year?
It's Miller moth year.
It's Miller year, yeah.
It's horrible.
They're
That's why I'm doing this.
Got it.
My wife is at wit's end because I am creeped out by Miller moths.
I don't care
I
for
don't
them
like
either.
to touch them.
They're creepy.
When she's like, "Oh, hey Rick, there's a moth. Can you get it?" And I sneak away and pretend I didn't hear her because I hate them.
Yeah.
They get that dust on your
Dusty, yeah,
fingers,
and they're kind of
and
furry,
they're gross.
and- yeah.
And last night I tried to get one on the screen, and the night before my wife yelled at me because I kept on trying to grab them without crunching them because that's so gross, and they kept getting away in our bedroom. And so this one I didn't let get away, and I squished it through the screen.
Oh,
Horrible.
They're icky. Well, it's funny how it's a different insect each year, though, that we have. And some years it was cicadas. Some years, we've had box elders everywhere on the side of your house. It's weird how each insect has its
I'm
own
going to
year.
tell you a story.
Okay.
So I was a kid in elementary school, and it was a hot summer day, and we went down to the basement, of course, because we didn't have central air.
Sure.
And I was watching Gilligan's Island, and why are you laughing at that?
Because I watched a lot
Okay.
of Gilligan's Island in my days, too.
So I'm sitting there, and I'm watching Gilligan's Island, and I have my slice of Cloverdale summer sausage. And I'm eating it, and I'm watching, and then I look, and right around, you know how when you have a slice of Cloverdale summer sausage and it leaves the bite mark?
Yep.
Right on the edge of the middle of the bite mark was half of a box elder with its ass up and wings kind of flared. And needless to say, that stuck with me. So, but this is not about box elders. This is about Miller moths. Okay, so what?
Ish. Oh, I'm scarred for life, and I didn't
6
even eat the half of the box elder bug. Oh.
6 tricks for dealing with Miller moths.
Oh, good.
You ready?
Excellent.
Watch your screens because there could be holes in them. No brainer.
Good one.
Get a bug zapper. Could work. Keep the porch lights off. Again, a no-brainer. Here's something that's interesting. Get a bowl of water with a desk lamp. Have the desk lamp just like 6 inches or so from the bowl of water. Put a little detergent in the water, just a little bit, because it's like a surfactant. It gets rid of the surface tension, so they
Drop
drown.
through
So they'll flutter around, hit the water, and then drop through. So that's a good trick.
Wow.
Number 5 is vacuum like crazy. No, thank you. And then number 6 is use essential oils like cedar wood, especially cedar wood,
good
but
idea.
also lavender, peppermint, etc. So that's that.
Excellent. Wow.
Okay.
So good. So, okay, I was this weekend in Medora, and we were just steeped in all things Theodore Roosevelt. So as my husband and I were in Medora, we picked up 2 books, and one of them says 101 Things Everyone Should Know About Theodore Roosevelt. There were so many interesting things in here. Roosevelt, number 23, Roosevelt was surprised to be nominated as New York Assemblyman in 1881. Also, fact number 32, Roosevelt tried to erase all memory of Alice, including ever speaking of her again after the death of his wife and his mother on the exact same day. As you can imagine, it scarred him. And then he, of course, didn't even want to hear the name Teddy anymore because, his wife and his mother called him that. So he broke his self-enforced rule not to speak of Alice Hathaway Lee Roosevelt after her death. He wrote of her. But he also then went to Dakota to kind of get over just the trauma of the loss of those 2 things. The other thing is he has some amazing quotes, and I've got a few of them that I would like to share. There are 2 things that I want you to make up your minds to first, he says. That you are going to have a good time as long as you live. I have no use for the sour-faced man. And next, that you are going to do something worthwhile, that you are going to work hard and do things that you set out to do. He also said this quote, "While my interest in natural history has added very little to my sum of achievement, it has added immeasurably to my sum of enjoyment in life." And
That's
he
cool.
also said, "I don't think any president ever enjoyed himself more than I did. Moreover, I don't think any ex-president ever enjoyed himself more."
That's great.
Teddy Roosevelt. I've got so many quotes that I have bookmarked in here. They are so, so good. So many
Nice.
good ones in here.
All right, I'm going to continue on with
Okay.
my second little bit
On
of
moths?
brain food. Yep, pull it up, guys. So these are scales from moths. Flip the next one. In fact, just flip through them about 5 seconds each. So the scales I find fascinating. I love close-up microscopic type of images. Why do moths have scales? Well, it acts as camouflage, of course, like you might expect. It also provides warmth, oddly enough, when the sun is down. It helps with dating, which kind of goes along with camouflage because the opposite sex kind of likes to, you know, see these types of things. And you can lose scales in kind of a, what would you call it, sort of to help with aerodynamics. But the biggest thing I thought was interesting about scales, remember moths fly at night, and one of their primary predators are bats.
Sure.
So bats use echolocation.
Sonar, right?
They use sonar.
Right.
And the scales, the formation microscopically of this, inside the scales, they have the trabecula. They act like noise canceling, so it makes it so that it doesn't bounce back to the bats, and it's harder for the bats to see them, so that it's just a natural adaptation.
That is amazing.
I thought that was fascinating.
That is fascinating.
All
Good
right.
stuff. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about some reporters, not just one, several of them, going rogue.
When you can't find answers to your recurring health challenges, it can feel like your health and your future are being held hostage. The Wellness Way is a network of health restoration clinics that think and act differently to solve the health challenges others can't. Here, we disrupt the standard approach to care through a combination of testing, individual plans, and one-on-one guidance, putting your health and your future where they belong, in your own hands.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Spas, etc. Yeah, yeah.
You've come to know and trust us for over 18 years with the largest selection and showroom in Western North Dakota for our beautiful Sundance spas. Plus, you could pick out your next home experience with our selection of pool tables, shuffleboards, and fun accessories.
Spas, etc. Your relaxation destination on Main and Bismarck.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York style pizza. We also feature gyros with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's hot dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Welcome back to No Apologies on Beck. It is our final segment for tonight. Thank you for sticking with us. So, Lori, you've got an interesting story for us.
Yeah, well, this story I really love because if you are familiar at all with Project Veritas and James O'Keefe, you know that he's all about undercover reporting and things like this. And this is great because in the last week, in just last Monday to this Monday, 2 different reporters have done the same thing. And when I first saw this one, I came across it the last few days on Twitter, and I was just dumbfounded that this woman had done what she had. Her name is, the first gal is named Ivory Hecker, and she was a general assignment reporter for Fox 26 in Houston. And she was all set to do a live hit, and she was doing the weather of all things. She was going to do a little talk about the heat wave in Texas and how it was affecting power outages and things like that across the viewing area. But before she got into it, she just totally veered off. And watching the video, you can imagine if you were watching it going, oh, neat story about weather. Wait, what? So let's roll this. This is Ivory Hecker first from Houston.
Outages across the region. Fox 26 reporter Ivory Hecker is live in Montgomery County to take a look at that aspect.
Thanks, guys. That's right. Before we get to that story, I want to let you, the viewers, know that Fox Corp has been muzzling me to keep certain information from you, the viewers. And from what I'm gathering, I am not the only reporter being subjected to this. I am going to be releasing some recordings about what goes on behind the scenes at Fox because it applies to you, the viewers. I found a nonprofit journalism group called Project Veritas. It's going to help put that out tomorrow, so tune into them. But as for this heat wave across Texas, you can see what it's doing to AC units.
She just goes right back into it. It was so fabulous. I love that sort of stuff. And I mean, that took some serious courage, as you can imagine. She just veered right off.
She had to know she had a window of time.
I've got
Get
this
it
much
in
time.
By the time they figure things out.
It was too late for them to censor her. I mean, that was so well done. That was fantastic. So, according to a Daily Beast article from June 15th, well, let me show you some graphics here first from some articles about the talk about this too. So, world exclusive tomorrow. Project Veritas introduces you to Ivory Hecker, who blew the whistle on her own news network, where she is currently employed. Not anymore. As a television reporter, Ivory has a story to tell. She claims to have witnessed corruption and censorship firsthand. Best of all, she got it on tape. Stay tuned for recordings of her superiors and colleagues tomorrow. There are those who've had enough who live like they're dying. There are going to be hundreds more of them, they say on Project Veritas. Thousands who exhibit a special form of moral courage, follow their conscience, and record what happens with a hidden camera to observe behaviors for the world to see. Be brave, do something. If not us, who? If not now, when? Veritas at protonmail.com. So this is so amazing. Let's go to the next one here too. So it affects the viewers, she said. That's why I'm doing this, she told O'Keefe. The viewers are being deceived by a carefully crafted narrative and some stories, okay? In some areas, they do fantastic journalism. For some reason, some of these stories have an incredible slant. If you accidentally step outside the narrative, they try to internally destroy you, as I've witnessed firsthand. At this point, I want out of this narrative news telling, she concluded. I want out of this corruption. I want to tell true stories without fear of whether it fits the corporate narrative. Now, you and I are at a TV network where we are allowed to speak the truth. We are not muzzled. We are certainly not muzzled.
No.
At all. In fact, they probably should sometimes. But this is so interesting. So then I was reading this. Well, I should tell you, too, that Project Veritas, best known for its undercover sting operations on media outlets, co-founder O'Keefe, they put this on their website so you can actually look at and see all of her tapes and things like that, too. James O'Keefe posted a tease for the interview with Hecker on his Telegram. And then it was inevitable. Fox 26 Houston reporter Ivory Hecker, they said, in a Newsmax article, who teased her work with Project Veritas in a surprise off-script TV hit on Monday, was reportedly fired from her job via text message. You knew it was coming. Of course, that was going to be part of the deal. So I was going over my notes for this today, and another story came out today. Same sort of MO, different market, different gal. It's a brand new week, and today another weather gal made a similar announcement live on air. She, this time, was from WWJ-TV, CBS 62 in Detroit. And this gal's name is April Moss. So April Moss did the same thing. We'll take a look at this one.
Good evening, and thanks for watching First Forecast. I'm meteorologist April Moss, and happy Father's Day. Today we saw temperatures above normal again, topping out at 85 degrees at Metro Airport. Plenty of sunshine today, but all good things must come to an end, and that starts as early as tomorrow morning with showers moving in around 8 a.m. And speaking of a brand new week, I will be sitting down this week with Project Veritas to discuss the discrimination that CVS is enforcing upon its employees. Tune in to Project Veritas for my full story. Now, later Monday, we will see those showers continuing through late morning.
I love it.
I do too.
I love it.
These girls are so brave, and they're doing it, and they're just sneaking it in there so that they don't have enough time to react, and they get their message out, and they're...
I'm trying to figure out how the corporations are going to want to stop this. If they're just going to keep coming out week after week, day after day. I don't know if they put on a 7-second delay.
I don't know.
Because they're going to try and do a workaround.
Oh, of course they are. Yeah. But what I love about this is that these girls did it in like about 10 seconds worth of time. They kept it pithy, kept it quick, just enough to get it in there so that you're jarred into like, wait a minute, they're talking about something other than the weather here. Yeah, I am very, very proud of them too. So very, very interesting. And she's just like, and now later Monday we will see these showers continuing. I love that so much. So anyway, watch for these, and you can look at them on Project Veritas on the website, Project Veritas, Veritas.com, and you can see the girls, and they are doing their interviews there. So I hope we see more of this. It'd be great if we had one every week on Mondays. Somebody else new came out and said, you know what, this is what the networks are really like.
Yep. I was at a large convention where they were talking about this type of thing, and they said that this is what they're going to be doing, looking for brave people to step up and work with them, and clearly this is part of it. So
tomorrow we will have a very interesting guest on a topic that you may be interested in as well. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Thanks to your support, you've helped make MyPillow become one of the fastest growing companies in America. Over the last 12 years, you've helped MyPillow create thousands of jobs right here in the USA.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night, and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
That's why I invented MyPillow. My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck supported and aligned. I'm interrupting this commercial right now. Retailers have canceled MyPillow, and to thank you for your support, I'm gonna pass the savings directly on to you. For example, you get my 6-piece towel sets, regular $109.99, now only $44.98, or MyPillow dog beds for as low as $19.99 with your promo code.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.